Hello everyone, my name is Braden Basie, and today I'd like to speak about low self-esteem. So we all came to school to obtain a degree, make new relationships or friendships, and or continue on with our athletic or physical abilities. So why would we put these goals in jeopardy of not happening? Well, low self-esteem does exactly that. So I'd like to start with defining low self-esteem. So low self-esteem is a mental illness where somebody lacks confidence in themselves. Hina Imran, a scientist from the Journal of Psychology, says some consequences of low self-esteem are less confidence, low expectations, easier or less challenging goals, reduced efforts, and mediocre performances. So let's talk about how these consequences affect our goals and what we can do to stop or slow low self-esteem. In this image here, these are 6 reasons for low self-esteem, and the numbers you don't have to worry about. Those are scientific numbers for people in this field, but I was just showing virtue, academic competence, competition, approval from others, appearance, and family support cause low self-esteem. So first, let's get into academics. A degree is unlikely to happen if our academics slack off. And this happens when we do worse than expected on an assignment, or we compare ourselves to other students, or we let our outside emotions affect our academics. Hina Imran also says, students who underachieve academically or who fail to live up to their academic expectations suffer losses in self-esteem. So when we suffer low self-esteem, consequences happen. In these figures, as school advances on, girls tend to have lower self-esteem than men. And this is for middle school and high school students from Ohio Proficiency Writing Center schools. Next would be how new relationships and friendships are affected by low self-esteem. Margaret Zoller Booth from the School of Educational Foundation Leadership and Policy at Bowling Green State University says, a positive self-concept is desirable for humans' personal development. So when we have low self-esteem, this leads to none or unhealthy relationships. A lack of personal development can be seen in reducing efforts, or such as depending too much or not enough on relationships, when we should have a balance between depending on ourselves and relationships. This just shows that relationships are important for children's self-esteem. And then lastly would be physical and athletic abilities. Herb Marsh from the Australian Catholic University says valuations can be made against the absolute ideal task, the relative performance of others, and can be made against the and a personal internal standard or standard of comparison. This means when we are not performing or we are comparing ourselves to other athletes, then low self-esteem will occur. Comparing ourselves athletically is much like comparing ourselves academically, so both cause low self-esteem. If we have low self-esteem, consequences can happen, and one being not pushing ourselves to be better than the day we were before. which can lead to less challenging goals and mediocre performances. Here are two quotes on the left side or the right side of the screen for you guys by professional athletes that show that mental health is really important for sports and your physical life. So Bill Russell and Laird Hamilton. And then this graph shows the steps needed to maintain a healthy self-esteem in sports. So to finish up, I want to finish with a quote from Enrico Perinelli. He's a research expert from the University of Trento, and he is analyzing a scientist who studies the field of low self-esteem named Jay Crocker. He says the internal personal domain includes 5 subdomains of academic competence, competition, approval from others, and family support. So in order for those 5 domains to show low self-esteem, this happens when we want to be better than others, we want approval from others, or we want affection from others. So I'd like to finish up with saying, to have a higher self-esteem, think of your goals, notice events that lower your self-esteem, and try not to let low self-esteem and the consequences control your actions. Thank you.